on today's Motorhaus?
We're here at one of our favourite places in the UK for a celebration of 100 years of motorsport.
Oh.
How exciting is that? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back to Motorhaus, and we're here in probably one of our favourite places in the UK. Where are we at, Ratchet?
We're at the summit of Holme.
Holme. It doesn't get much more Peak District.
It doesn't.
It don't.
It's
does
Peak
it?
District.
It's Peak District, and especially today, because today we're here to celebrate a bit of motorsport history, aren't we?
Ooh.
It's the Holme Centenary
100
event.
years.
100 years. So
What?
a lot of people may not be aware, but 100 years ago resonated to the sound of some plucky chaps. Pioneering motorists, this was the site of a very, very early hill climb. We're now going to pop down to the Fleece at the bottom of Holme Summit to chat to our friend Guy Loveridge on the history of this event. Well, here we are down at the foot of Holme with my very good friend, Mr. Guy Loveridge. Morning, Guy.
Morning, Bob.
How are you doing today?
Very well today, thanks. Very well indeed.
It's toasty, isn't it?
It's going to be another Scotchio one, certainly.
Definitely Scorchio.
Scorchio.
For all our viewers at home, what's the kind of background behind the Holme Centenary?
In 1919, motorsport was coming back into vogue after the First World War was over. Brooklands had come back to life, Shelsley Walsh was coming back to life, but people in the north felt that they deserved a fair crack of the whip. So the Huddersfield and Bradford motor clubs got together, had a look around and decided that the Moss here would be a perfect and testing climb. The first event was 2020 for our centenary, so we celebrated 1920 to 2020, and the plan is to do one every year, and touch wood, we've done 3 successfully now.
There've been some very big, very famous names from motorsport's history that competed and drove at Holme. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Captain Campbell, who would later become land speed record holder, was here. Raymond Mays holds the record in perpetuity, who was British Hillclimb champion multiple times. Tragically killed at Pendine Beach in his special Babs.
Yeah.
Parry Thomas climbed here in another one of his Leyland
Oh, really?
specials,
Parry
Flat Iron.
Thomas went up here. Crikey, yeah.
Archie Fraser-Nash climbed. Mr. Martin of Aston Martin climbed and won his class here. It was actually Aston Martin's first international win. Good group. The international class here at Holme.
It is, in fact, a hugely historic venue then.
Absolutely, and 3 or 4 of us decided in 2017, when our first meeting was, we really had to mark it. You only get one crack at doing a centenary.
Yes.
So we put in place what has been 3 wonderfully enjoyable events.
We've come here a couple of years. We've been to every event so far. This year we felt it was about time that we actually filmed the event and commemorated it for Motorhaus, so that you could all get a taste of it, and hopefully next year come and visit yourself. I think what we really ought to do now, guys, maybe hop in the car, and if you'd be kind enough to give us a guide of the route as it exists now, and maybe point out where we would have gone in days of yore.
We're coming up to what was the start line. The start line was the middle of the Ings Bridge, which is this bridge here.
Okay, yeah, so we're just coming up to the start line now.
Yep, this is where it kicked off. It's a slant bridge.
Yep.
So they'd start here, and in period, this was a bit of an S-bend because they go straight on down there.
Oh, really?
Which we can't because it isn't made up.
Yep.
They go down there for 270 yards.
Yep.
This new road was put in the late 1930s.
Yep.
But this is what we have to use today because that's really appalling. But that went down and then came back on what was named by the press as the Devil's Elbow.
Good grief.
Hairpin.
Sounds ominous.
And they rejoined here.
Right, so this
where
is
the cyclist is now. It would come up from there.
Okay, yeah.
That road there, as you can see, still unmade up.
Yep.
And then there was an absolute blast up this straight.
Yep.
And this is where lots of spectators gathered. People would bring picnics. They ran charabanc trips out from Huddersfield, from St George's Square.
Wow.
And they would park on the fields, and the farmers would charge them a shilling, and they'd sit there with their bank seating and have grandstands that turned up.
Which, of course, it is a natural grandstand for the event, isn't it?
It
You
is.
have the hills, and you can see everything up and down the hill.
This was one of the notorious bends, because it just goes on and on and on. It's what we'd call a double or triple apex now.
Yep.
But in the day, before they pushed out, when it was single track,
And just straight off the edge.
quite a spectacular whack
Yeah.
oops moment to be had there.
Yep.
And of course the later second lane is the one we're in now. So you have to think the right hand side of the road
I see,
was what they
okay.
were climbing, because
Right.
they didn't imagine this would become an A road. Yes, folks, this is a major A road.
So it would have been half the width of this originally?
Yes.
Okay,
And
so
unsurfaced.
wow, okay. Gosh, that really does put it into perspective. So unsurfaced, just loose, gravel, rough
Definitely
road.
on the loose.
Wow, okay.
We have the roadworks in place now because they're continually monitoring this road.
Yep.
People can probably see at home, literally the other side of the Armco to our left,
Yep.
it drops off. There's a 600-foot drop down to a reservoir there, so we're off again. So as we come through the area coned off, on the road there is writing, and in the Armco there's a high-vis strip
Yeah.
which marks exactly where the measured, here it is, there,
And just there.
that was the finish line,
Ah, right.
so that the fast guys would lift
yeah.
as they hit there and then coast into what is now Yorkshire Waters car park, and we use this for the event as the top paddock.
Well, here we are, we're rolling back into home. You can see there's a few interesting cars turning up already. I think it's time for us to go and have a look in the paddock and have a look at what vehicular delights await us today. We'll see you there. As you can see, there's the hubbub and the bustle of here in the paddock at Home Moss. What an eclectic mix of vehicles. There's everything from British classics to mental pre-war aero-engined monsters, all of which are going to be going up Home Moss. But let's have a quick look around the paddock and see if there's anything that particularly catches our eye. We've got an extraordinary mix of cars, as I've already said, everything from pre-war cars to German classics. Very particularly tasty 6 Series BMW I've had my eye on. And then a Nissan Qashqai, seemingly. It's an egalitarian event. If
Why
you want
not?
to throw anything up the hill, you can do it.
So I have come in Tonda.
Tonda?
Yeah, Rexy.
Rexy.
She's just about working enough to make it. It was either that or GP, so it was a tough call.
Both solid choices for today. I
It
must say
would've
the Torino red paint is looking resplendent in the sunlight,
Well,
darling.
nice of you to notice.
So, what do you reckon? Shall we hit the hill?
Yes.
Let's do the thing. top. How was that for you, darling?
That was really good fun. Yeah, really good. Had a nice clear run.
Yeah.
Respectfully overtook some cyclists, obviously.
Christiane as a passenger. There's the reaction. There's the reaction. Did you enjoy that, darling?
It was unbelievably amazing. It was like being back on the racetrack with my old man.
Oh.
You are awesome. I love Marlena. She's just stunning.
Darling.
And we had lots of twitches. It was hairy at some moments because we were probably, I'm not going to say how much
No,
we were
we're
doing.
easy,
What a
easy.
blissful place to be with you two fantastic people
Oh,
who I
Christiane.
absolutely adore. And thank you for my ride up.
Oh, it's an honour.
Marlena.
It's an honour. It's a pleasure. And here's Tanya.
Oh, here's
With your
Tanya.
dad.
As well, with Dad. Bloody hell, old chap. How was that? I see you're in one of those dreadful foreign cars.
Well, it was all right.
And this is what it's all about. Well, have you got the thing?
I do. I have.
Let's go sign the thing.
Yes, to say that we have officially done it.
Hello, sir.
How do, sir?
We have some things that I believe need your officialdom.
Official
or something.
signatures.
They need a squiggle, indeed.
They need a squiggle. There goes the squiggle.
Squiggle.
We've got one squiggle. I've been squiggled. You're about to get squiggled.
Oof.
Oh,
I'm a lucky girl.
Another
Fantastic.
squiggle.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
And a badge.
look at this.
See?
Wow. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Marvellous. Well, sadly, the day has come to an end. Why has the day come to an end? Have you enjoyed yourself, Ratchet? How's the day been for you?
Fantabulous. Highlight of the day. I think the field down at the bottom, just seeing the wide selection of cars that turned up.
It has, hasn't it? It's been incredible.
amazing.
Everything from, as you've seen, from an early aero-engined monster right up to modern day ultra-performance machinery. Quite an amazing cornucopia of automotive joy. Highlight for me, I've got to say, driving Christiane up the hill. That was pretty amazing. She said some very, very complimentary stuff to me off
I know,
camera.
she's good at lying.
What a bitch.
It's only because she hasn't been up in the car with me, that's why.
Well, maybe next year,
Yeah.
next year. Go and have a look over on the Home Moss page. We'll put the link in the description.
Yeah.
Whilst we're talking about that, please, please, please like, share and subscribe. It does us a massive favour. The other thing you can do as well, which is brand new to Motorhouse, we have a Patreon now.
We do!
So all of this stuff, these like all the wireless mics, the cameras, all of that costs a lot of money and a lot of time.
It does.
If you'd like to directly support us by taking out a Patreon account, we have multiple tiers depending on what kind of rewards you'd like.
Yeah.
Please have a look in the description, nip over to Patreon, and if you value what we do, your contribution makes what we do possible.
So, from the Holme Moss Centenary, it's goodbye from me, the Ratchet.
And goodbye from me, the Bob, and we'll see you again soon on another episode of Motorhouse. Well, here we are down at the Fleece at the bottom of Home Moss with my esteemed and good friend, Mr. George Loveridge.
No, that's the other one. That's the other one. That's the other one.
You back off the mic. That's one for the bloopers reel. Beep.
No, if I'd done it before, I'd have already put my phone on silent.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mine's in the car. That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, ring Bob's phone, everybody. 2019, everyone had just about recovered from the Second World War. Even the First World War, the Second World War was 20 years in the future. Time travel.
2019.
Love it.
1919.
1919, cut again.
Right.
That's so cute. Fitting back of Danny. Why you not get Sammy? If you had bought Sammy, you could have bought. Okay.
Just clap, Rob. Let's say something.
The clap.
The clap. You don't want the clap,
No,
don't you?
no one wants the clap.
No one wants the clap. Darling.
Darlings.
Darling. I'm looking fabulous, darling. Motorhouse, the very embodiment of alpha male motoring.
Is that what it is?
No.
No.
No, not at all.
No, it's not, is it?
It's not.